Hello there, and welcome this week to Talking Flutes Bite-Size with me, Jean-Paul Wright. A big shout out to our podcast sponsors, TJ Flutes, for all their support over the years in making this podcast possible. You can show them some flute love by visiting them on Instagram at TJ Flutes, Facebook at Trevor James Flutes, and on the web at tjflutes.com. This week, we're going to look at the joy of being a flute player and how we can embrace our individuality and avoid comparison to enable us to be the best, most rounded and grounded musician possible. Being a flute player is a journey filled with joy, self-expression and, obviously, personal growth. As musicians, we embark on a unique path that allows us to create beautiful melodies and connect with the world through our music. However, the joy of being a flute player can sometimes be overshadowed by self-doubt and also the temptation to compare ourselves to others. In this brief podcast, we will explore the immense joy of being a flute player, along with the significance of embracing our individuality and the detrimental impact of comparison. By understanding the value of our unique musical voice, we can nurture our passion for the flute and cultivate a lifelong love for the instrument. Playing the flute offers a profound opportunity for self-expression and creativity. Through our music, we can convey emotions, we can tell stories, and we can connect with the audience on a really deep and emotional level. The flute's versatility, as in effect we are just a singer because we do not have a reed, we do not have a mouthpiece, and we don't hit anything. In effect, we're just blowing, we're opening up our throat and just going, ah, and the airstream's hitting on the edge of the embouchure hole of the head joint. So we are very much like singers. Our versatility allows us to explore various musical genres and also experiment with different playing techniques. This, in effect, fosters a sense of artistic freedom and exploration. As flute players, we also have the privilege of creating beautiful sounds that bring joy and comfort to others. Now, I know other instruments can do that, but there is something special, something truly special when you hear a flute player. Music has the power, as we know, to heal, to inspire, and to uplift spirits. So, in effect, it makes us the bearers of a special gift that has the potential to touch hearts and souls. Being a flute player is not necessarily like any other profession, as it's a lifelong journey of learning and growth. There's always something new to discover, whether it be a challenging piece, a unique technique, or a fresh perspective on how we interpret music. This continuous growth and development keeps the joy of playing the flute alive and invigorating. Sometimes we look at a piece of music and think, oh, I played that 6 months ago, 3 months ago. Oh, how boring it is. But no, it's not. We make it boring. We can make every piece of music come alive and be invigorating and to bring joy to others. We just need to see it in a different way. Playing the flute opens doors to a vibrant and supportive community of fellow musicians and enthusiasts, whether through rehearsals, through concerts, or the large amount of flute circles we move around in. We can share our passion for music with many like-minded individuals and create lasting connections and friendships. Social media is fabulous for this, whether you're looking at the Flute Forum on Facebook or you're looking at any of the big flute-playing Instagrammers. Everybody is there. Everybody is a part of this big, supportive, wide community. Embracing our individuality in music is one of the key factors in making us, unique. Each flute player possesses a unique musical voice. This is shaped by our experiences, our emotions, and our personality. Embracing our individuality allows us to infuse our music with authenticity and sincerity, creating performances that resonate with our true selves. Music as an art form thrives on diversity and varied interpretations. Different flute players, for example, may approach the same piece with distinct nuances and emotions, adding richness and depth to the musical landscape. And others may approach the same piece with slightly different variations, none less valid, but more bringing their own unique voice and their own unique interpretation to the music. Embracing our individuality in music fosters personal growth and confidence. When we recognise the value of our unique voice, we become more comfortable with ourselves as musicians, and this enables us to perform with greater authenticity and presence. But there is this little thing, this little devil sitting on the fence, which is the devil of the peril of comparison. You see, comparing ourselves to others can lead to self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy. Constantly measuring our abilities against others' achievements can really erode our self-confidence and hinder our artistic growth. Focusing on comparison with others can also divert our attention from our own musical journey, our own unique path. Instead of celebrating our progress and our accomplishments, we often can become preoccupied with the perceived successes of others, neglecting opportunities for our own personal growth. Comparison, therefore, can also negatively impact mental health, leading to anxiety, to stress, and even in the worst case situations, depression. It creates an unhealthy mindset that prioritizes external validation over personal fulfillment. We really must cultivate a mindset of appreciation and gratitude. So rather than comparing ourselves to others, we really should focus on our own achievement and our own milestones. However big or however small, they are still achievements. Celebrating our progress, no matter how small they may seem to you, fosters a sense of accomplishment and motivates us to continue growing as musicians. We all develop at different speeds. We all develop at different times. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. So let's focus on our strengths. Let's also focus on our weaknesses and aim to get those weaknesses moving up. And every time that we feel our weaknesses are getting better, we should celebrate ourselves rather than doing ourselves down. Adopting a growth mindset involves seeing challenges as opportunities for learning and development. Embracing any mistakes and setbacks that happen to us is part of the learning process and allows us to approach our flute playing and life in general, I suppose, with curiosity and resilience. Let's face it, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has challenges. Most of the time we don't see them. We just see these online videos, these online performances, these live performances, and we often look at players in awe. But we don't know what's gone in the background. We don't know the mistakes they've made to get to that position. So embrace what happens to us and allow our approach to our flute playing. Be curious and strong. Also, and something that very few of us actually do, is we cultivate gratitude. See, gratitude enables us to appreciate our musical journey and the experience it brings to us. By focusing on the joy of playing the flute and the many opportunities it offers, we can cultivate a positive and fulfilling musical practice. You see, focusing on the joy of playing the flute and the opportunities doesn't mean that we need to be the principal of the Berlin Philharmonic or London Symphony Orchestra, or we need to be a world-class soloist or a big YouTuber or massive on social media. Gratitude means being happy with the joy of being free, putting the flute to our mouth and just blowing, whether it's blowing along to a pop song you sing on the radio or going along to a teacher at whatever age. And there is the issue. How many people have played the flute in their lives at school or at college and then stopped? They stopped because they had to go off and do other jobs. They became mothers, dads. You ask these people and they say, yeah, I used to play the flute. But why don't you come back to it? And the reason a lot of people don't come back to it is they don't believe they can do it again. But you see, you can. Picking up the flute, going out and getting a second-hand one and just blowing it. It really will cultivate this positive and fulfilling practice that may just close a little hole you may have in your life. So in conclusion to this bite-sized pod, the joy of being a flute player lies in the unique and personal connection each and every one of us has with our music. Embracing our individuality as musicians allows us to create authentic and meaningful performances that can touch hearts and minds. And if you don't play in front of public, it doesn't matter because it can still touch you. Comparing ourselves to others robs, steals, thieves us of the joy and fulfillment that comes from our own musical growth. Instead, by appreciating our achievements, however big and however small, cultivating a growth mindset and practicing gratitude, we can savour each and every moment of our musical journey as flute players. So everybody, let each of us treasure this joy of playing the flute and relish the artistic expression that makes each of us a beautiful and unique musician.
Talking Flutes and Talking Flutes Extra are podcast productions by the Trevor James Flute Company. For more information, visit trevorjamesflutes.com.